Welcome to Orion Valley.
The sky. Home to angels, dragons, and armored centurions astride fantastic winged beasts. Below them, the clogged streets of a bustling metropolis, avenues ripe with opportunity, back alleys thick with intrigue. Under these same streets, the Undercity awaits, a dark, foreboding place home to terror of the unknown. For thousands of years, 10 guilds have vied for power and control over the city. Among these, the Orsov Syndicate uses religion and debt to reign supreme over the people, kept in check only by the Boros Legion, a military force dedicated to upholding the law of the land. The Selesnya Conclave, however, fights in the name of nature and life, keeping a watchful eye on the Izet League, a band of scientists privy to dangerous experiments that could endanger the plane. Today, a mysterious villain weaves a conspiracy the likes of which the city has never seen before. After a series of bombings in Izet labs, the Selesnya Conclave have called upon the mightiest heroes the city has to offer. Welcome to Ravnica.
I'm ready.
Wait, I'm chewing gum.
I'm so ready. Swallow it.
Spit it out into the mic.
Hello, fellow adventurers, and welcome to this fine episode of RavnicAvengers, the Selesnya Conspiracy. I am your DM, Casey Clark. Since we're not at a table again, we're going to start with Sullivan Harris.
Hey, Layna.
Yeah.
What's the best 80s hair band?
Heart.
Sting.
No, wait, isn't that the Police? Sting is just the lead singer?
No. Well.
Sting. Lead singer of whatever he just said.
The Police, get with it.
I'm a ranger goblin, and I like to shoot the bad guys and have a good time with my friends.
All right, Layna Pratt.
Hi, I am Guy Elfman, and you all need to know I almost just spit my drink into my microphone right before we started. I am a Hexblade Warlock, and I'm a dwarf, but not really.
You're a
so
Beyblade Warlock?
Hexblade.
Oh.
Beyblade, let it rip.
Joanna Lagurfo.
Layna,
Yeah.
who's the best 80s hairband?
Should I repeat my answer? I said heart.
Daryl Hall.
I think it's Hall & Oates, folks, but okay.
Daryl
Oates is
Hall.
the greatest 80s hair band.
Daryl Hall is...
Daryl Hall. I am a Loxodon elephant. Wait, bard. That's also an elephant.
Double elephant.
Double elephant. Twice the fun. I don't think Yep. Someone else go.
All right, Chris Rowe.
Hello, I am Chris Rowe, and I play Chuggles the Muppet Born. He's a druid.
Yay.
And
Chris, can you put any modicum of effort into your intros ever?
no, that's not allowed.
All right, and last but not least, Ben Mannix.
Playing Flemsteak together, the Darkin Cleric, and, what's the best 80s band? Dragon Ball Z!
That's Chuggles' favorite.
I think it's Beyblade, actually.
Beyblade, let it rip.
Okay. We open back up in the torture chambers, and
Again?
you brought Erlich back, and Baldric was there, and Lef was there, and she disintegrated. And we're just going to go right back into it.
Oh, she dropped a soul, didn't she?
She did. She dropped a fragment of her soul, and Baldric caught it, and he said you guys need to get to the speaker. And currently, that's where you all are headed.
We are?
Yep. Baldric ran. He just ran. He's dragging all of you with him. You guys are trying to get back to the Buxter building, the big guild hall at the center of the ward, and you got to go talk to the speaker.
Is he still holding the soul?
Oh, yeah. He's got it
Yeah.
clutched in his fist, and he is booking it down the street.
Oh my god.
That's so sad.
I mean, you guys are going to follow him, right?
I guess we're leaving.
Whoever did this is gonna pay!
Erlich looks over at Stain. He's like, I think I'm going to go with him. I feel like I got to do this. And then he gets up and you see him kind of like crawl onto the ceiling, and then you see him turn around. You see him turn around and his arms go out and he shoots webs and he goes after Ehrlich, swinging along the buildings.
Guys, everybody's running. What do we do?
Run! Everyone's doing it.
Chuggles is compelled to follow the pack.
All right, we all make haste out of the dungeons.
Flum angrily storms off after Baldric.
Flum has a girlfriend.
Okay.
So we're booking. We're making
you're
making haste.
Booking it all the way. You guys are running as fast as you can down through the marketplace. You're dodging and weaving.
Wait, whose shoulder am I riding on?
Daryl's.
You're on.
Daryl called dibs.
Daryl's.
Daryl called dibs.
You're on Daryl's.
Woo!
All right. So you're just like, Daryl's like running, like just like clomping the ground, like you just hear boom, 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 and Chuggles is just hanging off the back of him, flying in the wind, his arms outstretched.
Love that guy.
You guys definitely dodge a few crotch goblins. Baldric just like punches one out of the air with the hand that's holding his soul as it tries to get him.
That's tight.
And you guys make it all the way back to the Buckster building. And he stops in front and he turns around and he's like, okay, we need to go up to the top. Let's take this stairwell, but we're going to have to get past a couple guards.
What?
Don't you work here?
I do, but the speaker's kind of a prolific man, so we might have to like charm our way into things. So
What if we ask nicely?
It might work.
Okay.
He goes running up one of the stairways that goes up to the top of the building, and as you go up, you start to see forming at the top of the building. There's just a large, 50-foot wide sphere that's sitting in the middle of where the concourse is, and like on the ground, but it's all the way up to the top of the building, hovering. And you can't see it until you get like close, really, really close to the top, and it's got like this really weird like sheen to it, as if it was kind of like a mirror, but it's trying to like phase in and out of existence.
Question.
Yeah.
Is it within slingshotting range?
What's the range on your slingshot?
As established in a previous episode, I did not write that down. I'm assuming 120 feet.
No.
About 1,000 feet.
All right, Googling. All right, opening website. What are we looking at? We're looking at,
While he's doing that, does this look solid? Does it look liquid? Mayhaps a gas?
It's solid.
Maybe
it's
plasma.
Like, you know how the Predator movies looked? Like the Predator looked in the movies?
You know,
When
weirdly
he was
enough,
invisible?
I was just asked yesterday if I knew how something from the Predator looked, and today, I still have not seen the Predator.
Fuck.
You ever play Halo?
Nope.
Wait, actually. Oh, fuck.
Do you have any 90s punk rock analogies you can use here?
No, not really.
Well, I guess we'll
All
just
right.
stick with it. Looks
It's like-
it has a
it's
mirror-like sheen.
Yeah, it has a
It's like
mirror-like
Terminator?
sheen, but also kind of.
I know that one. Is it the
See-through.
Terminator?
Yeah, is it like the second Terminator bad guy?
Kind of. It's like that, but it's also semi-transparent. Like it's translucent, but
Oh.
it's also like a mirror.
So it's got that little cummy kind of look to it?
I was about to say that.
It's because we think
well-
so alike because of our long friendship together.
Yes.
We'll go with that. Yeah, it's a really cummy looking sphere.
Good.
Yeah. So
Put it back.
you guys get up there, and Baldric is like, all right, there's a catwalk that we can't see, but I can get to it. But once we get up to that sphere, some guards are going to come out. So we're going to have to try to put on our best game face. You know what I mean? We're not going to have to, we shouldn't have to fight them, but we got to try and at least do this civilly.
Okay.
First.
What is that sphere, though? Because it's kind of creeping us all out.
That's where the speaker, that's like his quarters. But he's a very influential man in Ravnica, mostly in Ward 69, but he's a pretty important guy.
He lives in Cumsphere?
Oh, it's like a treehouse.
The cum housing is upper tier living here in Ravnica.
Upper echelon, yeah.
Yeah. So he kind of, you see him like get up to the top of the staircase and lean over to where it looks like there's like nothing. And you see him slowly take a step and his right foot like kind of jerks like he almost falls. And then he kind of lands on something solid and like transparent. There's nothing under him. And he's like, all right, everyone just stay right behind me. The catwalk, we can get to the platform that's right around the sphere.
Okay.
And he tries to lead, he leads you guys along this like invisible walkway. And you get up to the sphere. And when you do, two beings start to meld out of the sphere and stand in front of you. They look entirely cloaked. You can't see their face, and the cloaks they wear look just like the sheen that's around the sphere. And it says, they say to you, "What do you want?"
Wait, their entire clothes look like the sphere, sheeny?
Yeah, they're just like, it's like a big wispy cloak. And it's got that same mirror finish to it, that like mirrory finish.
I'd say they're within 30 feet, correct?
Yeah.
I want
You
to.
guys are like
I want to
within
ping
like 10 feet of them.
I want to ping a pebble at them.
Oh, Chuggles.
You're positive you wanna do that?
Can I roll to try to catch it out of the air?
I'm gonna put us in initiative.
All right, you know what? Chuggles and Daryl roll a contest. Just a contest for that.
Explain to Chuggles / Chris what a contest is.
Just roll a d20.
16.
15. Fuck.
Chuggles, you see Daryl like Chuggles is about to come up off Daryl's shoulders, and Daryl just kind of like goes up and grabs the slingshot that's in Chuggles' hand and like holds it back down.
Chuggles doesn't trust this man.
Shakes
No.
his head.
Wait, that's
the
not
guards-
my voice.
The guards look up at Chuggles and then look back in front of Baldric.
I think they probably
and you
looked
guys.
down at Chuggles, if I'm being honest.
Well, no, he's on
I'm on
Daryl's
Daryl's
Oh.
shoulder.
Okay.
That's
I'm
why I was
sorry.
able to grab it.
They look and then they look back down and they're like, "What do you seek, adventurers?"
We seek the speaker.
Yes.
Affirmative.
Chuggles
Oh,
agrees.
For what calling do you speak to speak with the speaker?
I want to fire a slingshot at him.
That's not true. He probably does, but we don't as a unit.
Baldric goes up and he kind of he puts up his fist and he shows them, "We need the speaker to tell us how to deal with this." And he shows them the fragment of the soul, and they look at him, they say, "What else?" And he looks around to the rest of you in the group.
It's about the conspiracy.
I thought we solved the conspiracy.
I'm looking for acceptance from my mother.
It's been about 7 episodes, and we have not found like one fucking clue towards what this conspiracy is.
Yes, we did. It's in his hand right there.
The elephant has spoken truth.
What? Daryl, you spoke the truth? What's the truth?
I said I was looking for acceptance from my mother.
Does that mean anything to you guys?
The elephant may pass through the sphere.
Woohoo!
Daryl, are you gonna walk away and go into the sphere, or are you gonna wait for your comrades?
I like nose.
Does that mean I go through with 2?
That's a.
I mean, you can
fair
check to find
question.
out, but Daryl, what are you gonna do?
Or I like nose dive into it. I trunk dive into Cumsphere.
All right, you dive right into the sphere, and Chuggles is just like pushed against it, and you just slide into it while he's on the outside of it, and he falls back onto the platform where you guys are standing.
Trunk diving into the Cumsphere is the lead single off Sting's latest album.
And then they also look at Baldric and they say, "Baldric Stormcaller, you may enter the sphere." And he runs right in. And then the mirror guards look at you guys and they say, "Speak your truths to enter."
I want to know about the birds.
You may enter.
I run in.
Wait, what is happening here?
One time I cheated off a spelling test in 3rd grade, but still failed because it was the class plan.
They look at Flump, and they kind of just like look at each other, shake their heads, and look down, and then be like, "You may enter out of pity."
Oh boy.
They look at Chuggles and Sting.
Sometimes when I have to write on official documents my height, I put 3'2", but I know I'm only 2'8".
Speak your true.
Fine, 2'7".
They say they look at Sting and they're like, "Pity wins again." They usher you into the sphere.
I go in, but I've got like a sting fit. Wait, what's up, Chuggles?
Sting! Juggles doesn't get the puzzle.
Chuggles, you have to tell them a secret about yourself or something.
Okay.
I'll wait with you.
Okay.
Chris, you gotta get this character voice a little more charactery.
What do you mean? This is
There you
my
go.
character voice.
All right. Okay, Chuggles. Puppet born, speak your truth.
One time, Chuggles stole cookies from the cookie jar. It was amazing.
I liked it.
It felt good.
And they're like, "You're too cute," and they usher you in.
Oh,
Chuggles, I'll take your hand and walk in with you.
okay.
Chuggles is crying.
As you oh no! What do Chuggles' tears look like? Are they like regular
no.
tears, or
They are
like
teardrop-shaped
some kind of fabric?
marbles.
Oh God! Make it stop.
Oh my god! She's just like raining like marbles down on the ground, and they're just pattering off the platform and raining
Sting
on everybody
slips.
down there.
Casey, I have a mess kit in my bag. Can we say that since I have spent so much time with Chuggles, I would have emergency cookies in that?
Yes.
Okay, I pull out an emergency cookie as we walk into the sphere and I hand it to Chuggles.
Chuggles bites his hand. He puts his entire mouth over his hand and starts nomming.
He's like a
All
horse.
right. Well, that works. Okay, so you guys walk into the sphere, and as you pass through, you see the guards kind of like meld back into the wall and then come out the other side into where you guys are. And they're just kind of like watching over the doorway. And as you step in, you're in what looks like a grand Victorian like study. There's books lining the spherical walls, and there's a very large oak desk like into the back of the room with a lantern hanging above it, and then beside that is a very grand like bedroom area. There's like a bed and a little nightstand and everything.
Whoa, nice
And,
digs.
And you see, sitting at the desk, talking to Baldric, is the man that looks vaguely like Stan Lee. And him and Baldric are in kind of like a heated conversation.
It's the
And Baldric is like-
pedophile again.
Bandy.
So Baldric is kind of up to him, and he's like, "You see, it's not a full soul, man. It's just a fragment. I don't know what magic it is that they're doing this with, but I need to figure it out, and I feel like you can help." And the speaker looks at him and puts a hand on his shoulder, and he says to Baldric, "I know."
Wait,
Fuck, I can't do Stan Lee still.
my character knows magic. Can I roll an Arcana check to see if I know what kind of magic this is?
We've already done that.
I've already done that.
Yeah, you already did that.
We already did that.
You didn't know.
Well, Chuggles tries again, and he still doesn't know.
Okay. So, and then also, because I didn't say this, Ehrlich was also with Baldric. Because he followed.
Oh yeah, what was his
And,
true?
Oh, his true? He goes up to the mirror men and he says,
When I was young, living on the other side of a wall to another goblin,
I asked for his friendship, and he gave it to me. But I left, and he didn't know. And we finally reconnected, and I'm so happy about it.
And they let him in.
Oh, did I hear that?
No, that was like with when. Well, actually, yeah, you did hear it because you guys all got up there at the same time.
All right,
Yeah,
when
you
I
heard
come through, then I give him a little like brotherly clap on the ass,
Ass
I guess,
cheeks.
because I'm pretty sure.
He gives you one on both cheeks because he has 2 arms and he just wha-cha.
He's
Oh
8.
wow, I'm 8 years old.
He
Feels
is too.
good to be so young.
And the speaker looks over at Ehrlich and he says, who are you? And Ehrlich looks at him and he says,
I'm Ehrlich. The spidery.
and he says, I see. You look like you've been imbued with something. And Ehrlich kind of shrugs at him. And the speaker takes you all by his desk. There's a small compartment like door. He presses on one of the books.
Holy shit, we're in National Treasure now, boys.
And
I hope
door
he gets
opens.
Declaration of Independence.
And you guys step into another room, and it's kind of cramped, but you all can fit. And you're around a table. And the speaker looks at all of you, and he says, I am one of many. I have knowledge that passes across all the worlds of the multiverse. And he starts to conjure an image above this font that you guys are in front of, this like pool of water.
Is
kinda
it
like
Times
in
New
Harry Potter.
Roman?
I think it's Comic
Yes.
Sans.
Is it chiller?
Kind of like, yes, it's chiller.
Yes.
It's like kind of like in Harry Potter, except you all can see into this big pool, and there's images floating around. And he says, I am one of many. And you see him lay his hands over, and as he does, his golden robes that he was dressed in start to kind of fade upward.
Hell yes, get naked.
And you see that he's wearing a scarlet sweater. And you look into the font.
Kill him on sight. Kill him
You
now.
look into the font, and you see his face, and then hundreds more faces spread across the multiverse. And
oh
you
no!
go into one. You go into one.
No!
There's a boy in front of a television playing video games.
No.
And it looks like a medieval world.
Anything but this.
Layna, do you understand?
I was thinking Star Trek, but now something else is happening.
You look.
I love Interstellar.
You look into another image, and you see a basement, a dark, dank basement with a derelict
Derelict?
sign above.
Derelict?
A derelict sign above a platform, and a chalk body drawing on the floor, and it says Casey's Crazy Questions
I'm not happy.
above it.
What?
Wait. Is Casey in this podcast?
It's Casey Clark.
Is
That's
Casey
one
dead?
of 2 Casey Clarks.
Oh man.
Well, 3 now.
And then we pass into another world, and you see a boy sitting in a hallway at a desk talking to a microphone. And then he looks at you all, and he says, he looks at you all and says, "I am the infinite Casey."
Oh my god. Is this how we level up?
I spread across all multiversal planes.
This is how it ends. This is how we all die.
End it. Turn the. Stop recording, quick.
Guys, we can stop the cycle now if we kill him.
Oh god. You see, in the beginning.
In the beginning, there was only Clark.
There was only Clark. Fuck, I'm losing track. I'm laughing too hard. And I'm losing
Let
track.
there be Clark.
Oh my
Oh
god.
god.
Can I quit the
Oh,
podcast
Jesus
yet?
Christ, fuck. I laughed way too hard.
I'm like crying.
I hope Sullivan's crying.
I'm crying, but not for the same reasons.
Through this, I am the oldest of all in the universe.
How old are you?
At least 11.
Really, really fucking old, man.
Is that a number?
Like I said.
And you see him pull a cigarette from his ear, and you take a really big drag, and he says, "Man, Casey Clark, I haven't heard that name in years."
This is the weirdest fucking self-insertion I have ever seen in my life.
Also, what was the cigarette just lit, chilling by his ear?
No, it's in his
No,
ear.
he conjured it out of thin air.
Oh,
And then put it back, and it's gone.
Wow.
Whoa, are you a magician?
And he says, "You see, with this knowledge, I've come to learn about many magical things throughout the multiverse.
He is a magician.
You see Guy looking panicked and slowly starting to back away.
There are many things that have taken place across them. Many things that intertwine with our own.
Yeah, well, I hope one of those things is gonna explain why my friend has 4 arms.
This magic that Baldric is in possession of, it's something poisoned by a great evil. Only something born of darkness can split a soul unwillingly, and that is what has happened here."
And then you see pictures of Lef conjure up into the font, and he says,
Lef was broken into 5, and you were able to get 1 back. Getting them all would bring Lef back to a whole, and would probably complete Baldric's quest to find the love of his life. But we don't need to worry about that right now.
Do you hear that, Flum?
We have
Love
bigger,
of his life.
because we have bigger fish to fry.
I don't know. I'm pretty worried about that. I'm gonna be honest with you, Baldric. We are gonna get your woman back. Let me tell you.
he's like tearing up, and he's like wiping it away as he puts the little soul into his pocket. And
I'm gonna put a hand on his shoulder, like a nice, reassuring, like strong hand. You know how people do in movies?
Yeah.
They just put their hand on people's shoulders. That's what Sting's gonna do.
You're gonna have to jump.
Chuggles is going to do the same hand thing to Flum.
It's okay, Flum. There's plenty of fish in the sea.
I don't even know what a fish is.
I think you're one.
Really?
He turns to all of you and he says,
You see, there's something bigger amiss in this plane of existence. There's something trying to enter it.
I have been taking
That's what she said.
notes. I have been taking notes from all these different explosions, and I've started to gather intelligence from the other groups that I've sent away to investigate. And it seems that someone is trying to draw power from the elemental planes to open a gate to a plane that none of us have access to at this very time.
Not even you, the Casey Clark, the master of all time and space?
No, not even me. This plane exists outside of when I was formed.
Wait a
It is a
minute. Wait a minute. If they're trying to access the plane, why are they going to the labs instead of going to the airport?
That's a good question, Flum.
You see, they need power from the elemental planes because that is where all other planes have sprung forth.
Excuse me, sir. Does the plane have a name yet?
I'm not sure.
Can you name
I
it the
can-
Clarkian plane?
That would seem a little too narcissistic, don't you think?
Oh, that's
Coming from you.
narcissism.
But I have an inkling that we'll surely find out soon enough. You see, whoever's trying to do this has been trying for a very, very long time. Only now has he come into some kind of success. I don't know who he is or where he's from, but I do know this. You must hunt down and stop the other 4 lefts to get to him.
How do you know it's a he?
DM.
Only a man would know.
Jesus.
Oh God.
He's Casey Clark. He's inherently sexist.
Casey Clark.
That's what exactly. No, he's like, sorry, I mean it.
Well, that's just kind of rude now, don't you think?
So Lef gave her soul to this thing for some reason. So if we put her back together, we can figure out what that reason is and who it is. That makes sense to me.
Unwillingly, though. That's the reason that this magic is so potent. One can only give their soul up willingly.
We have to kill 4 more?
Ooh, yeah. Do we have to kill them?
You wouldn't have to kill them, but you
could
would have
we?
to get them in the same place.
What if
You
we
could
wanna
if
kill
you
them?
really wanted to.
Drown her.
If you really wanted to, you probably could.
Drown the bitch.
So how are we supposed to track down 4 more Lefs? We had a hard enough time finding the first one. Well, I mean, I guess we didn't really have a hard time. She just kind of showed up in front of us. So if we just kind of hang out, maybe the other ones will too.
Nah, I think I have an idea.
And he looks over and he looks to Baldric and he says,
This font is called the font of self-reflection. You see, my mirror motif, it kind of fits. Well, if we can have Baldric look into the font of self-reflection, he should be able to tell us where the next Lef is.
That's a good idea. Let's use Baldric as bait.
Shove him in. Drown him.
It's because he possesses a multiversal connection to this woman. Something I've only felt one other time between 2 other people. But they died before I could help them. They were killed pretty gruesomely. So,
Okay.
now I'm going to have Baldric do this, but I would recommend that all of you do it too, because it'd probably help you guys, deal with some kind of inner issue that you might have.
so he takes Baldric and has him like gaze into the font, and you see memories of him and Lef before kind of flash across this water, and as he does, you see one image start to kind of float up, and it's Lef, and she's working in front of a lab, just like the one you guys had seen before, but not blown up. And you see her disguise herself like an Izet scientist and walk in. And as it kind of pulls away, you can see that this lab is in a part of the city you guys haven't been to before. It looks like it's surrounded by many, many Rakdos settlements. Daryl, you recognize these as the sadist, like the sadist and masochist like chamber areas that they all do their cool parties in. Chains and whips excite me kind of deal.
Right.
So, and then the image fades away, and Baldric and Daryl, you both know probably where that is.
Casey, have you described to us like what Lef looks like without her hood and stuff?
Oh
on?
yeah,
'Cause I don't
guess
remember
that would make sense.
if you did.
I mean, you guys didn't know what her race was. I mean, and it was hard to really tell what she looked like. When you saw her in this image, though, when you saw her disguise herself, she pulled back her hood, and you can see that she has long, kind of black hair, but it's not black. It's kind of like the color of like oil slick. There's like a sheen of like green and blues and pinks kind of all going through it. And she's elven. She has elf ears and green, really dark green eyes. And she kind of, does her whole thing and is walking into that lab.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So you can tell that she's an elf of some kind of form. So, yeah.
She is a woman with a body and hair.
She got legs and
Body with
eyes.
body.
Flum turns to Chuggles and he's like,
Is she a fish too?
Chuggles agrees.
The speaker looks at you all and he says,
I would recommend that you all look into the font too if you would like some kind of upper hand in terms of yourselves.
And he kind of leaves you guys to it, and he stalks out of the room with Baldric, and he starts kind of like talking to him as he leaves, and the bookcase shuts behind you guys, and you're all around the font now. Is there anybody who'd want to go first?
Well, I think I know myself pretty well. And Sting like hikes up his pants, and you hear a little from in there. And that is our episode reminder that there is a living being inside of my pants.
Fully forgot about that.
Chuggles,
How?
I don't know.
I like movies.
It's the crotch
all right,
goblin. It's my crotch goblin.
So Flum, are you gonna go first?
Yeah.
All right. So you see, Flum goes up in the font and just sticks his head right in. And as you do, you see a bunch of images flash forth, and you see in front of you, you're back in the Milky Palace, and you're mopping the floor. and coming up behind you in slow motion.
Oh my god, it's a snuff film.
Oh no, I remember this.
Is an old Father Widdershins, dressed in his Selesnya cleric robes, and you're just really going at that floor with the mop. And as he reaches the puddle, he falls back in just a somersault of glory as he slips on the floor, and he falls right on his head and just breaks his neck.
And Flum turns around and he's like, "Excuse me, sir, you can't sleep here."
And as that's happening, the spirit of Father Widdershins goes up and works his way right into Flum, just right into him.
Ooh.
And
What is happening?
when that happens,
This is the surreal episode of RavnicAvengers.
Yep. When this happens, Flum, you hear the voice of Father Widdershins in your head as you're slowly losing oxygen in this font. And he says,
I can breathe underwater, remember?
Oh shit, you're right, you're a fish.
It's really thick
right.
water.
Breathe in the semen.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, Flum, I bestow upon you more power than I ever had in the realm of the living.
Does that make me a superhero?
I don't think so. You're more of a man of the cloth, but if that's what you want to call it.
I'm a
You can have
superhero,
it.
guys.
Are we seeing all this?
I like to think Flum just like turns his head and says, "I'm a superhero, guys," and then turns it back down.
And then he goes
Yes,
back in the
that's
water.
exactly. Flum is saying the same things he said in the memory in real life because he's forgotten what actually happened.
I love this movie. It plays in my head every night.
Flum, as you lift your head out of the water, something starts to come out of the water.
Ew. Flum made a floater.
No, a very large white
Ew.
staff makes its way up out of the water, and it's covered in
Semen.
what looks like
That's why it's white.
looks like leaves.
Just the
And,
cummiest staff you've ever seen.
See, if he washes it, it's actually blue.
Oh,
There you go.
gross.
Yep. So, Flum, you get a staff, a large ornate white with like, and then vines growing up the sides of it, and on the top of it is a very large like bundle of branches that kind of form what look like the Selesnya logo. Kind of looks like a bonsai tree on the top of the staff.
Ooh, that's cute.
You know what they say, guys? The wand chooses the wizard.
The one chooses a superhero.
And with that, you can up 1 point of ability score into wherever you'd like on your.
Oh shit!
Anyone else? Next person.
Daryl's
Chuggles
next.
has been.
Daryl's
Chuggles has
next.
been rummaging.
Daryl
Chuggles
throws
is rummaging.
Where are you rummaging, Chuggles?
I want to go in the desk.
No, you guys are still in the font room, and when you go up to the door, you
What?
realize that it has
Doesn't
locked
seem-
behind you.
I I thought it was the same room.
No. He took you behind the bookcase to the font, remember?
Is there anything to rummage?
Your memories and your past successes and failures.
Chuggles really doesn't want to relive his experience at Auntie Grandma's.
Daryl's next.
Daryl's next.
As Daryl walks
next.
up, I'm gonna kind of like lean into Guy Elfman and be like, "Did we just watch Flume murder a man?"
I think so.
All right,
Why did we watch him murder a man?
I'm still not quite sure. Let's see what happens to Daryl.
Okay.
Is that the first time Guy and Sting have ever interacted in character?
Probably true.
Because I think that is.
Most likely.
Hey, we work with what we got.
Okay. Now, Daryl, you stick you look into the font. You don't have to stick your head in. So you look into the font and you see in front of you, you're in the cathedral where your mother forced you to kill someone close to you.
Oh my God, what?
And it all comes flooding back, Daryl.
I don't want to keep. Why are we watching so many snuff films today?
It all comes flooding back that you are, and the tattoo of the sewn together lips that is on. Where's that tattoo on you, Daryl?
That's on my back.
It's on your back.
The lower back.
Does Daryl have a tramp
Slightly
stamp?
above the crack.
I was gonna say like right between the shoulder blades, but maybe right above the crack is a bit sexier.
It's definitely
Okay,
more
so-
Daryl's speed.
So Daryl's tramp stamp of
Which is always visible.
the insignia of the crime family known as the Silence. And you see in the font, all of you see a picture of a bunch of Loxodons, all dressed in like dark cloaks and ninja gear, kind of. And you see
Like the Fortnite
memories
streamer?
of Daryl.
They all have blue hair.
And you see memories of Daryl kind of like running along rooftops and sneaking into buildings and like whacking people, you know? Because apparently Daryl was once an assassin.
Daryl,
is
did I
true.
know this about you?
No.
Oh
think
my
you did,
God.
I mean, he's a drug dealer now, so that's not quite far off.
And Daryl kind of like you see him start to talk to his mother and try to convince her of his love for music and wanting to pursue that. And you see him performing at night in downtrodden taverns, and he starts to work alongside a bunch of Rakdos people that have kind of taken him under their wing. And you see Daryl kind of like grows apart from the Silence, and he starts to become the man you see now, the cool, raving drug dealer elephant man that is Daryl Hall. But you see, one night, Daryl's mother comes and sneaks into his room that he's sleeping above a tavern in. And she says that it is time and that Daryl must do one more thing for her that he's owed the family. And he has to go, and he goes into a cathedral. Daryl is in the cathedral, and you see his mother holding him in front of one of the youngest brothers in his family. And you see her explaining that he tried to extort money from their Assassin's Guild, and the matron is telling Daryl to shoot his brother in the head with a crossbow. And you see Daryl hesitating, but eventually the matron stomps her foot, and without even thinking, Daryl pulls the trigger and watches in horror as his own brother's head is skewered with an arrow. Daryl then goes and gets the insignia of the Silence tattooed on him to know that his debt was paid, but that he's still bound to them, and that one day they might have to call upon him again. And Daryl, you see this memory, and you probably feel pretty bad about it, right?
I definitely don't feel great.
No.
Gotta say, man, feels pretty bad.
And through the font comes a small, dark black obsidian dagger. And are you gonna take it?
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right. You take it, and you can do one of your ability scores. You can up one. All right, Daryl, you've faced a memory. Anyone?
Can Chuggles hug Daryl?
Yes. Go. You just wrap around Daryl's trunk leg, just hugging him real
sorry,
tight.
Daryl.
I love you, little man.
Daryl, I didn't know that you went through all that.
I try not to tell most people. Usually I don't have a bowl of liquid memories to kind of spill my secrets, but cat's out of the bag.
Wait, I missed that. Could you do it again?
I give him an affirmative nod, and I'm kind of like feeling bolstered by like the fact that I just learned so much about Daryl that I am going to step forward into the semen pit.
Okay. So Sting, you end up going up to the pit, and you see in front of you is a scene that you've played over your head more and more. Every night you have a nightmare about it. And it wasn't a scene you were necessarily there for, but it's a scene that you've always kind of imagined. But now you're seeing it in front of you, looking just as familiar as you've imagined it. Your parents, 2 monster hunters. As they're going along, you see that your viewpoint follows them into where they're going, into the forest. And they got their monster hunter gear out. They're ready to go. And you see them come upon a group sitting in front of a large summoning circle. They look like a cult, and they're chanting some kind of indecipherable language. And suddenly, a group of demons materializes within the circle, and your parents jump out of the bushes and go to work. And you see them going after the cultists and you know, being like badasses, like modern day heroes, trying to stop this from happening. And as you're going around, it looks great, and you're having a fun time watching. And then suddenly, you see your mom make one wrong step, and she gets caught right through the chest with a very large crab-like claw and a head of a goat, of a demon known as Glabrazu, looks back from behind her shoulder as she's clutching at the wound that was made in her chest. And you see her fall to the ground, and the demon above her smirking. And then your mother falls dead to the ground, and your father turns and screams. And he rushes at the demon, but then the demon raises his arms into the air, and you see rings of flame go around your father's wrists and raise him up into the air. And you see the demon look into his face and say,
"Your son will remember this for the rest of his life."
And he looks at your dad, and then right into the heart, stabs him, and he falls limp to the ground. And as the demons walk away into the night, you see your parents' hands clutch for each other, both as they lay dying in the forest. And you see your mother clutching her greatest bow. Suddenly, it dematerializes from her hands, and we cut back to the scene of you in the tent, and it ends up by your side in your crib. And suddenly, while you're in the font room, the bow that you have carried ever since you were a young boy, the bow of your mother, one of the greatest monster-slaying weapons that has graced this city starts to glow with an ever-burning fiery light. And you feel the presence of your parents within the bow. And they say to you, Sting, we are so happy to have you here as the hero you have grown to be.
What, Dad? Mom?
Yes, it is us.
Sting just starts sobbing.
Oh.
Are you holding the bow in your hand, kind of like looking into it?
Well, the bow is currently hidden in my suit.
Okay.
It is actually...
Well, it's not hidden now because it's glowing.
Well,
real
no,
bright.
it is actually... My bow is the arrow, like the arrowhead, the purple arrowhead that is on my chest. It's just like hidden in there. So like that symbol on my chest is glowing and he's just kind of like got both of his hands on it and is sobbing.
Oh, gotcha.
Who's he talking
and they
to?
say-
I think he hears the voices too.
Whoa.
Since we have given you this item, and it is tied most dearly to the essence of your being, we imbue it with the power for you to defeat the evil that is coming to you. And their voices fade away and they say, be careful, be wise, be a hero. And they fade away.
Wait.
And the
No.
glowing kind of goes.
No, come back.
But you feel more the bow that's hidden within your armor feels warm to the touch and more solid than it has ever felt before. And you also get a ability score improvement from that.
Oh my god. Sting is going to... He like turns around, not making eye contact with anyone. Tears streaming down his face. And he's just gonna like quickly scurry over to a corner of the room and like ball up.
Aw. This is such a sad episode.
You guys all have such tragic backstories.
I'm only 8 years old.
I go and pat his
Oh,
back.
man.
It'll be okay, little man. You will prove your parents proud.
You said the P word. You shouldn't say the P word.
Proud?
Parents.
Guy Elfman's been lurking around the sphere for a little while now, and he pokes it after Sting runs into the corner.
The font? Okay.
Yeah, whatever it is.
All right. Guy, as you walk up to the font and poke it, out of the ripples comes a memory, but not your own.
Didn't think so.
You see it from the viewpoint of what you can only assume are your parents, your true parents.
Okay.
You see young Guy Elfman.
Are they elves?
No. They are dwarves.
They're elves.
You see a dwarven couple, both very somber and sad looking, as they carry the bundle that is Guy Elfman up to the steps of an orphanage in the edge of Ward 69.
And wherever Guy Elfman does stuff.
No, he ends up in an orphanage run by the Orzhov.
He's an enigma.
All humans, no dwarves to speak of. And he's lived his whole life there. He's only ever interacted with people who aren't dwarves. His parents left them there and no one knows why.
Can there be like a sticky note on the bundle that just says elf?
Totally. Definitely.
Awesome. Good.
And while Guy was there, he meets a pigeon. A small pigeon. And Guy, you have a memory of you taking care of this pigeon for a long time. And then one day, when you seem to have nursed it back to its former glory, the pigeon looks at you and speaks. And it says,
Hey Guy. Hey.
You talk?
Yay! Don't tell anybody else this, but we birds, we're spies. We're spies for the big man upstairs, you know.
Santa?
There's something big coming to this plane.
What?
Years from now.
What's happening?
When you're older. But you'll know, Guy. But no one else will believe you. We birds are the enemy. You remember that.
Who are
And
you?
then he flies away. He flies away.
Throw a hammer at it.
The hammer just clips his leg, and you see him kind of like his leg's broken.
Oh God!
Like, and he's like screaming as he's flying through the city.
Why is that so
And
funny?
Guy, you're left in your room alone, and you realize that your hammer, the hammer that you've always had, just lying around in the orphanage.
As one does. As people have.
Was he left at the orphanage with a warhammer?
Yep.
Oh, I was
his
imagining
parents just-
like a regular tool hammer.
They're dwarves. It's understandable.
ball-peen hammer?
Yeah.
No, that's what he has. It's just a ball-peen hammer.
Yeah. I just hit really
It's
hard
just-
with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Guy, you go down onto the street and you pick up your hammer, and this is the only thing you've known, the only thing that has been with you your entire life while you've lived out in this orphanage, the only thing close to family that you've had. And suddenly you hear a voice.
Have you read the Communist Manifesto?
You talk too?
I keep forgetting.
Does
that
everything
it's
talk?
her.
You see the hammer glow faintly, and the Soviet Union anthem plays faintly out of the hammer.
Don't actually play it, then
Editors.
this will get claimed.
Well,
Claimed by whom? USSR?
Sullivan can make a chiptune version of it.
Joseph Stalin will come back and personally sue us all.
I want my rights to distribute to the rest of us. Anyway.
And the hammer speaks to you, and then we flash forward through a bunch of different memories of you talking to the hammer, you signing up in the Orzhov Guild office, you thinking that you're trying to be a great communist when really you fail at it very badly. And then we see a memory of you one day at work, just having a ball, passing the coin here and there.
Torturing people.
And then, wait, what'd you say?
said
Torturing
torturing
people.
people?
Torturing people.
Just asking them
Chester's
nicely
down
for their
there.
souls.
Exactly. Chester's down there. You guys are having a ball, just chatting it up while he's chained to the ceiling. And then while you're up at the teller counter, going to give your allotment of souls for the day, you see a large elephant man and a goblin and a Vidalkin and a Muppet Born all walk into the office. And the hammer speaks to you while you're behind the counter into your ear, and it says, Guy,
What, Mark?
I have a feeling you must follow these adventurers.
I don't think I like the look of them, Mark. They look like they want me to do things.
Chuggles is picking his nose.
But remember your communist training.
Fine.
and then you see all the time leading up to now.
Oh boy. Does it go up to the point that Guy goes into the fun and we just watch it all over again?
Wasn't this all like 24 hours ago? It was like 36 hours ago.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Flashback.
Yeah, it was a few days ago. But yeah, so you get up to that point, and Guy, suddenly your hammer starts glowing, and you realize there's a feeling that you've never felt before within this group of misfits that you've been joined into. A feeling of family. Something you've never had.
Oh,
Jesus.
This is the sad episode.
And the hammer glows with that same light that you saw Sting's chest plate glowing. And you hear Karl Marx in your head say, "Guy, I think I've been bolstered with more magic."
Really?
And yeah, it's crazy, man.
Wow.
It's like I can actually do shit.
Good job, Mark. I'm so
I
proud
can
of
see
you.
the multiverse. I can see the multiverse. I'm not stuck in this weird plane anymore. It's like my mind's been opened, man.
Mark, are you also Casey Clark?
No, I don't know who the fuck that is.
All gods
Sounds
are just
like
some version of Casey Clark.
Sounds like a fucking weed.
Karl Marx, more like Casey Clark's.
All right,
Casey
and
Clark's?
you can up your ability score.
That was the joke.
Okay.
Also,
I don't have a pen.
and then I'll that's fine. You can do it
Okay.
later. You can add 1 point to one of your ability scores.
Okay.
Yep. And then the last person to have to go up to the font.
Chuggles doesn't want to.
It's okay, Chuggles. It only hurts a little. Come on, Chuggles. We all did it.
Okay.
And Chuggles sticks his head in.
All right. And as the water just soaks right up into your felt exterior,
Oh, he's gonna be
Go back.
soggy.
you go back through your memories. Chuggles, do you want to recount this in your Chuggles voice?
In my native
how
tongue.
it really went down? Huh?
So, Chuggles and all of my companions were working along, mining away at the yarn, and we decided. I don't think I can do the voice for the whole
Do
story.
your normal voice.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. The Chuggles voice is tired today. Chuggles is tired. He's laying on the floor staring up at the ceiling with his mouth hanging open. So Chuggles and all of his companions, they escaped through some holes they dug, and they all died to various traps. Like there was a dog somewhere in a cave that mauled one of the Muppet-born. Another one just got skewered on some stalagmites or some shit. And finally, when they escaped onto the surface, the mice came by and they swooped up the last of Chuggles' little brethren, and Chuggles has escaped. Sadly.
And you lived on the streets ever since, right?
Yeah, I would visit the Muppet ghettos and feed my Muppet families.
So you see that Chuggles' memories of living on the run as somebody who wasn't taken by mice, and you see him kind of work his way around the Muppet-born ghettos, and he tries to find food where he can, even though Muppet-born don't really eat anything. He's trying to follow the rules of regular society. He's grown up in a yarn mine.
It's an entertainment thing to eat.
Yeah. They want to find tasty stuff, but So he's doing that, and Chuggles, out of the font for your bravery doesn't come anything. But suddenly
This thing's
all the
broken.
water-
And Chuggles hits it
all
with
the
his
water
bat.
in the font grows black, and Chuggles is pushed out of the font and held up against the wall.
Guys, this thing doesn't like Muppet-born.
And you see in the font 2 glowing red eyes look at Chuggles and say, "You may not know your past." And it holds Chuggles there for a long time, and you start to struggle, and then
Chuggles
you drop.
struggle.
Chuggles struggle.
And you see in the water, as the blackness fades and the glowing eyes go away, you see something else, something that doesn't look familiar to any one of you. You see a man. Hold on, I gotta
Disgusting.
get this.
Ew.
Kill it.
Okay, you see a man Very tall, pretty attractive looking dude. He's got flowing red hair, and he's wearing armor that looks like it's made of leaves, autumn leaves.
It's Pan.
And you see sprouting from his back are two very large iridescent wings, that of an insect. And you see him, and he's in front of a large court, kind of like a medieval court. And he stands in front of a throne where there is a king, high king of the Fae, and his queen. And then this man who seems to be a guard. And the image fades as you go away.
Was that image meant for Chuggles?
Yep. It was there. You saw it as you as the thing that held you against the wall faded, and that memory lingered as the font kind of stopped. out of the font comes a flute. A wooden flute.
A Pan flute. I was right, it is Pan.
Does anyone
Dude,
want
Pan
this?
does not live in the Feywild.
I'm aware, but...
And it's a tree branch. It looks like a tree branch, but it's a flute. And it comes out, and it's there for you to take, Chuggles.
Is this for me?
And you don't hear anything, but you feel very drawn to the object.
Chuggles stands there with his arms at his sides.
The font chucks the fucking No, the flute. No, the flute just stays there.
Hey,
It'll
stick
just
to your
stay
guns.
floating there.
Stick to your guns.
All right.
Chuggles catches
flute
it out of the
gets
air.
Chucked at you, and you catch it. Roll a dex check.
We get one roll per episode.
I was about to say, I think that's the first roll this episode.
It is.
I got a 7.
It just kind of like conks you in the head, and then it lands in your hand. And yeah, you feel drawn to this object, and
Chuggles puts it in his mouth.
just in it, like if you're gonna play it or just eating it.
He just starts chewing on it.
All right. As you do, you feel this weird tingling sensation, and that same image flashes into your mind. And that's about it.
This tastes like shit.
And the bookcase comes back and unfurls, and you see Baldric and who you now know is Casey Clark standing in the doorway waiting for you guys. And he said, the Casey Clark says to you guys, "So, what'd you think?"
That was fun.
Chuggles has trauma.
Sting is just crying in the corner.
Okay, I know. It's a bit of a shock, but I had to get you guys to deal with your past so you can further your futures here and help with this thing, whatever's trying to put the plane in danger, whatever's trying to enter it, whatever's trying to get to that other plane. I need you to be ready. You need to be on guard.
And Baldric kind of nods. And he's like, "We need to find Lef."
Yeah, I need to find Lef.
All right, Sting from the corner of the room is just gonna stand up, and he like grabs the emblem out of his chest and does that thing Hawkeye does, where he like thrusts his hand forward and it like poofs out into a full longbow.
Okay.
And he like takes a step forward, and he's like kind of sniveling, but he like wipes all the tears off his face. All right, guys, we thought we caught the big bad guy, but we were wrong. There's something big coming, bigger than any of us have ever faced. So maybe he comes, and maybe it's too much for us, but that's all on him. Because if we can't protect Ravnica,
you can be damned well sure we'll avenge it.
And that's where we're going to end the episode today. Thank you guys for listening to me recounting everybody's past and probably
Some of them.
Nobody rolling anything.
That was a very traumatic episode.
Yeah,
This
I
episode
was.
was like we all just aired our dirty laundry all over Stan Lee's cum shack.
Hey, we found
Oh
a
my
title.
God.
We found a title. Yeah.
Stanley's cum shack.
It's a little place where
We can achieve trauma.
Come shack, baby.
All right.
Come shack.
thank you all for listening. You can find our podcast at Dingles and Donuts.
They're already listening to our
and
podcast.
at Dingles and Donuts on Instagram.
I might forget.
And at Dingles Podcast on Twitter. And also check out our website, OrionValleyProductions.com, and our other podcasts.
Please check out the
Frankly, I love
Instagram.
movies.
We're lonely.
We have a
Yeah,
Reddit too, don't we?
Oh, and our subreddit.
We have a subreddit.
I'm one of like the 3 followers.
we do have a subreddit which I designated to Casey to be like the headmistress of, but he he never touches it, and I always remind him, hey Casey, can you do something on the Reddit? And he'll post one thing and then
Holy shit,
it'll
I
be
found
empty
it.
for weeks. Anyways,
She's following it right now.
yeah, follow us on our social medias because we want more followers. We love you guys, and we want you to see all the incredible, horrible stuff we post. We're also going to have
And our
Dingles
art.
and Donuts stickers for sale. They are the donut logo, and they are pretty swell. They're going to be $2. There's more information about that on our Instagram. Right now, they're also going to be in our shop on the website, along with the Dingles and Donuts shirts. We also have brand new cover art. Done by the incredible, I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Oh wow wow.
It's like,
There it is.
it's zero.
0v0. Ooh.
Yeah, it's zero. It's at 0v0WL on Instagram.
He's good at
He
his
is
job,
like-
we promise.
Love his art.
He's one of my favorite artists I have found on social media in a long time, and he made us this incredible new cover art. And we're also rolling out the art. I don't know, it might already all be out by now, but
I've
it
posted it many
Close,
places.
definitely close.
it fucking slaps. So check it out.
It's great.
And what else? Oh, leave us a rating on iTunes. Leave us
And a review.
and a
Here are
review.
reviews.
Tell us how much you. Tell us which Casey god you pray to. Is it Casey Jesus?
That's
Is
me
it
in the corner.
Casey Muhammad? Is it
Casey Marks?
Buddha?
If you build
Casey
a Casey
Marks.
Clark shrine and film a video of it, I will personally send you.
Chuckle.
Is the
Some
Clark
rocks.
Shrine Casey's crime scene basement?
No, it's a bunch of candles surrounding a red sweatshirt that's like on top of a bunch of raw meat.
Why is
What?
there raw
Why is
meat?
it raw? Casey.
Exactly.
Casey's known for his schmeat.
Okay.
Bye.